I am Dr. V. Vanitha, Assistant Professor, Department of Maths, Fatima College. So we'll see about the integral equations. So we just start with the linear integral equation. So the general type of linear integral equation is of the form g of x into y of x equal to f of x plus lambda into integral over a k of x comma t y of t dt, where the upper limit may be either the variable x or fixed. The function f, g and k are known functions, while y of x is a known function which is to be determined, and lambda is a non-zero real or complex parameter, and this function k of x comma t is known as the kernel of the integral equation. And this linear integral equation is classified into two types. These are Fredholm integral equation and ultra integral equation. And these linear integral equation is of three kinds. If g of x is equal to 0, then this linear integral equation becomes f of x plus lambda into integral over a k of x comma t y of t dt equal to 0, which is known as integral equation of first kind. If g of x is equal to 1, then the equation becomes f of x plus lambda into integral k of x comma t y of t dt, which is equal to y of x, and this equation is known as integral equation of second kind. If g of x is not a constant but it is a function of x, then the equation is said to be integral equation of third kind. Now let's start with homogeneous integral equation of second kind. So if the function f of x is equal to 0 in the second kind of integral equation, the equation becomes y of x is equal to lambda integral over a k of x comma t y of t dt is known as the homogeneous integral equation of second kind. Next, we start with the classification of linear integral equations. So the first one is Fredholm integral equation. The linear equation of the form g of x y of x is equal to f of x plus lambda integral over a to b k of x comma t y of t dt. Here both the limits a and b are constants, and f, g and k are known functions, while y of x is an unknown which is to be determined, and lambda is a non-zero or complex parameter, and this equation is called Fredholm integral equation of third kind. And this function k of x comma t is known as the kernel of the integral equation. And the ultra integral equation. If the upper limit of the integral is not a constant but is identified instead with the current variable x, the linear integral equation takes the form g of x y of x is equal to f of x plus lambda into integral over a to x k of x comma t y of t dt. Here a is constant, f, g, k are unknown functions, while y of x is unknown which is to be determined, and lambda is a non-zero or complex parameter which is called ultra integral equation. Now let's see about special kinds of kernel. The first one is symmetric kernel. A kernel k of x comma t is said to be symmetric if the kernel k of x comma t is equal to k of t comma x for real variables, and k of x comma t is equal to k bar of t comma x for complex. And the examples for symmetric kernels are sine of x plus t, log of xt, x square t square plus xt plus 1. For sine of x plus t, we can write it as sine x cos t plus cos x sine t. If we replace x and t, we'll be getting the same. Similarly for the other examples. The next one is separable or degenerate kernel. A kernel is called separable if it can be expressed as the sum of a finite number of terms where each term is a product of a function of x only and a function of t only. That is, we can express kernel of x comma t is equal to summation of I is from 1 to n gi of x into hi of t. And we see the examples. So for the examples for separable or degenerate kernel, sine of x plus t, e power of x plus t, 1 plus xt the whole square, and x plus t. the next one is integral equation of convolution type. If k of x comma t is equal to k of x minus t, where k is a certain function of one variable, then y of x is equal to f of x plus lambda into integral a to x k of x minus t y of t dt for ultra integral equation, and y of x is equal to f of x plus lambda into integral a to b k of x minus t y of t dt for Fredholm integral equation. And these equations are called integral equation of convolution type. And this k of x minus t is called difference kernel. Before going for problems, we'll see about some formulas. So the first one is Leibniz rule of differentiation under integral sign. Let f of x comma t and dou f by dou x be continuous functions of both x and t, and a of x and b of x, the limits are functions of x which has the derivatives and it must be continuous. Then the formula becomes d by dx of integral a of x to b of x f of x comma t dt is equal to integral over a of x to b of x dou f by dou x into dt plus f of x comma b of x into db by dx minus f of x comma a of x into dA by dx. If a of x and b of x are absolute constants, then the equation becomes d by dx of integral a of x to b of x f of x comma t dt, which is equal to integral a to b dou f by dou x dt. Because derivative of b of x, it must be a constant, so db by dx is 0 and similarly dA by dx is equal to 0. So if a of x and b of x are absolute constants, the formula becomes integral a to b dou f by dou x into dt. And now we see the formula for converting multiple integral into a single ordinary integral. If the integral form as integral a to x, integral a to xn and so on, integral a to x2, f of x1 of dx1, dx2 and so on dxn, it must be equal to 1 by n minus 1 factorial integral a to x minus t the whole power of n minus 1 f of t dt. Now we'll see converting an initial problems into ultra and Fredholm integral equations. So the first problem is convert the differential equation into the integral equation y double dash plus y equal to 0 when y of 0 equal to 0, which is equal to y dash of 0. That is, given differential equation is y double dash plus y equal to 0. And we have given the initial conditions, so we can use or we need to find out the ultra integral equation. So we just write down the equation as y double dash is equal to minus y, and on integrating with the limits 0 to x, because you have given the lower limit, that is the initial value 0, so we just assume the initial value as 0 and they have not given the upper limit, so we have to give the limit as x. So integral 0 to x y double dash of x dx is equal to minus integral 0 to x y of x dx. On integrating this y double dash of x, will be getting y dash of x over the limits 0 to x, which is equal to minus integral 0 to x y of x dx. Substituting the upper limit and lower limit, will be getting y dash of x minus y dash of 0 is equal to minus integral 0 to x y of x dx. And the limits, the value which is given as y dash of 0 is 0. So therefore y dash of x is equal to minus integral 0 to x y of x dx. And again you are having y dash of x. So you need to calculate y of x. So again integrating with the same limits 0 to x, will be getting integral 0 to x y dash of x dx is equal to minus integral 0 to x, and already you have the integral, so we are introducing one more integration, so we will be getting 0 to x2 integral y of x1 dx1 into dx2. Now we are applying the formula integral 0 to x y of x dt the whole power of n, that is nth integral we are getting with 1 by n minus 1 factorial into a to x x minus t the whole power of n minus 1 into y of t dt. So by applying the formula here we are getting two integrals. So n is equal to 2. So 1 by n minus 1 factorial, which is nothing but 2 minus 1 factorial, and the power is x minus t the whole power of 2 minus 1 y of t dt. So which is equal to minus integral 0 to x x minus t, and 2 minus 1 is 1, and 2 minus 1 factorial is again 1. So y of t dt, and which is the required Volterra integral equation.